How many of you have old VHS tapes like this sitting around with old memories on them? Well, this right here is a recording from 1992 when I took 5 children to Disneyland. I had forgotten about this tape until I got a call from one of the kids who went on that trip. She wanted to meet me again to say thank you. Her name is Emily. What do you remember about that Disneyland trip?
It was the first time I got to be a kid.
26 years ago, Emily was part of a group of foster children I took to Disneyland, a 12-year-old girl waiting to find an adoptive home.
What made it even better for me is that I always felt really safe. You know, there were always people around, and you always made me feel very comfortable and very safe.
Emily has kept a photo album of the trip. This is my favorite picture. This is you and me.
I love that one. I love that one.
And look at you, and then look at me.
I still have the same smile. Look at that goof troop. I love it.
But there is one memory of our Disney trip I had forgotten about, but Emily couldn't forget. For her, it was something she has clung on to for all these years.
You danced with the girl in the middle of the street. And I remember thinking, I want a dad like that. I want to have a dad that will dance in the street with me.
Emily did find a wonderful adoptive family and dad. She now has her own family.
So I have a 15-year-old daughter named Matea, and she's my little clone. She looks just like me. And she's feisty and stubborn, just like me. And my Sam is my youngest baby girl, and Ethan is my middle son, and he's poor boy. He's stuck right in the middle of my girls, and he handles it well, and he's artistic and beautiful and open-minded and wonderful.
As for Disneyland and that trip we took down Splash Mountain,
going down Splash Mountain backwards with the cameraman going backwards, I thought that was the bravest thing in all history. And we had a great time.
No one can take your memories away, and I will always remember the little girl and our trip to Disneyland. Isn't that something? You know, 2 things that I remember about this. First, it makes you realize how fast time goes by. I can't believe that was 26 years ago. But I learned something from this, that the smallest thing when you're with children, the smallest thing you do, whether it's me dancing with that girl in the street or just that, kids remember those things.
Yeah.
And that becomes a big deal. And Emily has clung to that memory, and that's why she contacted me and said, I'd like to get together just to say thanks.
I think it's a good lesson too, not just for children, but for really anybody.
Yeah.
You know, those small moments can have such a big impact on people every day, and how important it is to be kind to people.
And if there's any young people out there, this is something called VHS tape. We used to use it many, many years ago. I can't believe I still have this.
It's kind of like a rotary phone.
Yeah.
You have to know what those things are.